Hello, welcome Rebels. My name is Ashley. Thank you for joining me today for our mini yin sequence, or what I like to call a yinny. You've already done the most important thing, which is you're here, you showed up, and you're making time for yourself to just slow down and be in your body, which is so important. Some recommended things, but certainly not required. A mat, you can also use a towel. You can take your practice outside if you want and find a little spot of grass. Also maybe a blanket or a beach towel, just to kind of help separate and give ourselves that extra padding, that extra comfort. Yin is all about really just slowing down and being in the breath. And then blocks or even like textbooks are welcome. And then of course, water. It's so important to stay hydrated. So just taking a moment here, we're actually going to begin on the spine today. So doing a lot of spinal work to just help us feel grounded and rooted as we venture a little bit deeper into this semester. So bringing the soles of the feet to touch. And for now, just sending everything down to the mat, placing one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, breathing in through the nose, and out through the nose. In through the nose. And out through the nose. Beginning to just make that connection with the breath. Connecting with our space, trying to be present here as we breathe it in and out. In and out. Focusing on the areas and points of the body that are making contact with the mat, soles of the feet pressing in, gently lifting all 5 toes off the mat and pressing them back down to the mat, tilting the pelvis just slightly to press the spine all the way down, and then trying to open up through the shoulder blades so that we're really trying to melt the shoulders down on the mat, taking the shoulders away from the ears, breathing in through the nose and out. Maybe placing one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly to make that connection to the self. And we'll stay in this pose for another 5 rounds of breath. Recognizing that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, right here, right now. Just settling into the mat, settling into the breath. Trying to let everything else just melt. Excellent breath work, Rebels. Let's take a really big inhale all together. And then exhale, open the mouth side out. 2 more like that. Breathe in. Exhale, open the mouth side out. One more. Breathe in. Exhale, open the mouth side out. Let it all go. How can you be here and be now? If you have a blanket or a towel in your practice, go ahead and gently slide your hips onto the blanket, placing a block in between the knees. We'll gently bring our knees up to our chest, sending the arms out into a wide cactus. You can also bring your arms out to a T, whatever works best for you. We'll take an inhale, and then exhale, gently take the right knees, or both knees rather, over to the right. Option here to also place, so in addition to having a block in between the knees, we can also place our knees on top of a block. This is all about doing what feels best to you in your body. So if this doesn't work for you today, you can remove it. You can also place a pillow underneath your knees if you have that available to you. Just anything to kind of make you feel safe and supported. So bringing the arms out to a cactus or a T, gently begin to look up at the sky if that feels good for the neck, or you can look over the opposite direction, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Palm can be face down if arms are in a T. If arms are cactusing, just placing the back of the hand down, breathe in. Letting yourself really get rooted into this posture. We're here for just a few more minutes. So letting yourself just get settled in, breathing in and breathing out, knowing that these postures can be done in isolation. You could just spend this whole entire class sitting and breathing. Whatever you need, please do it, because you know your body best. You know what you need right now.
Sometimes I can't breathe. Sometimes I can't breathe.
A few more rounds of breath here.
Sometimes I can't breathe. Sometimes I can't breathe. Sometimes I can't breathe. Sometimes I can't breathe.
Inhale, bring the eyes back up to center. Slowly begin to bring the knees back up to center. Remove the block, readjust yourself, reorientate yourself on the mat. Take a big breath in, extend everything out. And then gently hug everything in. Knees come into the chest. Maybe tuck the chin into the chest. Breathe in, breathe out. We got this. Breathe in, breathe out. Fantastic job. And slowly come all the way down, soles of the feet plant. Placing a block in between the knees again, getting set up for this twist on the left. To ground ourselves, we can always place the palms flat down, breathing in, lifting the knees up. And then breathing out, sending the knees over to the left. So recognizing that each side is different, each day is different. So maybe you place a block underneath the knee on the left, if that feels good to you, or a pillow. Just doing what feels best for you and your body. Deciding where we want to place the arms. So maybe the palms come up in a cactus, palms come out to a T. What works best for us as we breathe it in. Keeping the eyes up to the sky, or we can turn the eyes over to the right, taking the shoulder away from the ear, breathe in. Making sure the shoulders come down a little bit. Both shoulder blades melting into the mat. Maybe the eyes close down. Noticing the difference between the right side and the left side. Focusing in on elongating the inhalations and exhalations. Clearing out what no longer serves us through the breath. Sticking with the cadence and the rhythm of the breath. We're here for a few more rounds of breath, breathing in. Breathe in, come all the way back up to center, and gently engage the core. Bring the legs up, hug everything in, round the spine, tuck the chin into the chest, breathe it in, breathe it out, breathe it in, breathe it out. Slowly release everything. Big morning stretch again. And then gently begin to roll over onto the belly. Just doing it in any way that works for you. You could come through a tabletop position or just roll over. Pressing the palms down. Fingertips separating nice and wide. Breathe in, come up. Just doing a nice little counter pose to all of those twists. Option of staying here in Sphinx pose, or extending the fingertips out towards the corner of the mat. Breathe in, lift up, reach up for seal. Looking just past the mat. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Breathe it in and out. In and out. Breathing together as this big, wonderful rebel community. Breathe in one more time. Breathe out, let it all go. Bring the forehead down to the mat. Gently rock the hips back and forth, or we can rock the knees back and forth just to release the low back. And then extending the legs down, tops of the feet, press into the mat or the ground. Gently extend the right arm long, sliding the left arm underneath the right for sleeping owl. So the head can come down to the mat. Maybe you use a pillow, maybe you use a blanket. If pressing the forehead down to the mat doesn't quite work for you, you can always just place your cheek down on the mat facing that right arm. So take a few breaths to just figure out what works best for you. Now we're focusing on how long our arms reach. Bending the elbows is an option as well. Making sure that we're just nice and comfortable here. Reconnecting with the earth as we breathe in and out. Being here, being now. Reconnecting with all these big points on the mat. So feeling everything really melt in. And 2 more rounds of breath here. Just keep breathing. Extending some gratitude out to all that you do, both on and off the mat. Appreciation that you're showing up for yourself, that you're taking time to just rest and reset. Breathe in, lift up. Left arm releases. Lifting up just slightly, just kind of doing some gentle rocks back and forth. And then sliding the right arm underneath the left. Forehead can come down to the mat or the cheek can come down, whatever feels good to you. Pressing firmly down through the palms. Tops of the feet press down. And if the mind is wandering, just really start to notice again, first the breath, but where is your body making contact with the mat? Appreciating this time and this space to be quiet, to be peaceful in our bodies. We spend so much time racing from one thing to the next that we rarely take time to just slow ourselves down. And that's what yin is all about, is just slowing the pace. That's when any healing can really be done. Work in doing that active rest. We're here for 5 more breaths, adjusting as needed. One more inhale. Slowly come up. Pressing the palms back into the earth for that seal pose. Lift up, reach up, look past the mat. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Come all the way down. Press the forehead into the mat. Palms close in to the rib cage. Tuck the toes under just slightly. We're moving very, very slowly as we breathe and lift up. Bring the toes to touch. If you're using a blanket, use it again for just to support the knees. Just have that extra love and support and comfort today. Knees go out wide. Heels and toes come together, or we can bring the legs all together. Just again, this is all about what feels best for you today. And then slowly place the hips back. We can place a block underneath the hips if we would like. We can place a block on the forehead if we would like. Again, just what feels best to you, making that connection to the earth, to the block. Fingertips melting in. Being here. Breathing all together. Maybe scooching the shoulders away from the ears a little bit if they're scrunching up. Starting to note what's happening in the face area. Taking the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Separating the jaw. 5 more rounds of breath here. Everyone's doing a fantastic job. Breathe in. And the next inhale breath, slowly come up. Do just a few gentle movements in tabletop. You can do some cat-cows or some gentle twists before we come into our final resting posture of Savasana. So just take a moment and move in any way that speaks to your body before we come into our final resting posture. Always coming back to the breath, always coming back to that appreciation of ourselves, of our time, of all that we give. And then when you're ready, come into any final resting posture that works for you. So this could be a traditional Savasana where we lay on our backs. It could be where we lay on our bellies. Maybe we choose to stay in child's pose or do legs up the wall. What works for you today? Reconnecting in your space. Letting the breath cleanse us. Letting the breath support us. Letting the breath bring us always back to the here and now. Wherever you may have drifted off to, begin to invite gentle movement into the fingers and toes. Tipping the head back and forth from side to side. Reaching the arms up overhead, big breath in. Rolling over onto the right or left side. 3 breaths here, using the arm as a pillow. Being extra gentle with ourselves. Breathe it in and out. Slowly come all the way up to a seated position. Roll the shoulders up and back. Taking a big breath in all together. Hands to heart center as we bow to seal the practice. The light in me honors, respects, and appreciates the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much, Rebels, for joining me today and taking time out of your day to honor yourself and find some peace. Again, my name is Ashley. I look forward to practicing with you again soon. If you ever want to pop into the Student Wellness and Recreation Center, I teach every Wednesday morning from 6:15 to 7 a.m. And then I also teach Thursday evenings from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Have an absolutely beautiful day, Rebels. Thank you so much. Remember to drink some water. Take care.